Like the video and subscribe to our channel right now and get 1 week of amazing luck. From time to time, wind turbines can fail. Faulty equipment or extreme weather is often the cause of these failures. Today we're taking a look at wind turbine failure events. Number 11. Klickitat County. The world is promoting natural energy. In wind turbines, government or companies mostly use it on high or open surfaces for better results. But every pros situation comes with the same cons. When a wind turbine malfunctions in July 2019, the consequences can be serious. A wildfire in southern Washington that has burned more than 350 acres was caused by melting sections of a wind turbine that fell to the ground after the turbine's generator caught fire, fire officials said. Fire engulfed the turbine 300 feet above the ground, causing melted pieces to fall to the ground, igniting grass and brush, according to the release. Gusting winds helped spread the wildfire, called the Juniper Fire, to between 350 and 500 acres. At that time, residences were put on Level 3 evacuation notification by the Klickitat County Sheriff's Office. Number 10. Tehachapi, California. Wind turbines generally make between 10 and 20 revolutions per minute, depending on wind speed. Blade tip speed may differ depending on the size of the blades. Smaller blades may spin at 75 to 100 miles per hour, while larger blades may easily top speeds of 150 miles per hour. An uncontrollably spinning wind turbine happened on May 2, 2009. The turbine was located close to Highway 58 at the intersection of Sand Canyon Road in the Tehachapi neighborhood. There was hardly a 1,400-foot turbine from the roadway, so the road was blocked as it began to spin. The turbine's blades rotated so fast that onlookers were unable to see them. The turbine was owned by an AES company and it's not known what caused the failure. Employees were helpless. As the blades spun, they were told that the only way to stop it was to wait for the wind to die down. If the turbine had broken apart, it could have become very dangerous, which is why the highway remained closed until the turbine was under control. Number 9. Fort Huachuca, Texas. Located in southeast Arizona, roughly 15 miles north of the border between the United States and Mexico, is Fort Huachuca, an army station. It is still in use today, having been constructed in 1877. Over 24,000 people live there at any given time, including citizens, family members, and active military personnel. A $2.8 million wind turbine was installed outside the fort in 2011. While the fort worked to produce its own energy, it provided electricity to more than 300 homes. Nevertheless, a planned controlled demolition of the tower was planned following its 7-year tenure. The crew didn't have permission to use explosives on the base, so they had to cut it like a tree instead. That meant making precise cuts through 1-inch thick steel. Then, all it took was a little push.
Go down all by itself. That's why what we need.
The idea is to cut the tower until the hinge point, or the point of no return, as Safety Officer Todd Kimball calls it. This is where the tower can still stand on its own, but it could also come down with the right amount of force. When the hinge point is prepared, the workers tighten the cable. The tower can then topple with just a single, tiny cut. The turbine should ideally fall where they want it to. One direction showed electricity cables, and another showed subterranean utilities. The southern part of Arizona is likewise quite hot and arid. Explosives were out of the question because even a tiny spark could ignite the entire field. Number 8. Denmark. The country's second biggest city is Aarhus, Denmark. With a history extending back to the Viking era, it is also among Denmark's oldest cities. They currently house roughly 280,000 people. They were the first wind-made local authority in history in 2013. This indicates that 25% of their energy comes from wind energy. However, the path to 25% wasn't the simplest. February 22, 2008, the countryside was hit by a powerful storm. This iconic video was made when one of the turbines outside the city was unable to withstand the wind. Reports state that when one of the blades bent back and struck the tower, the turbine detonated. Fragments of fiberglass were launched up to 1,600 feet from the apparatus. 2 days later, another turbine collapsed in a nearby town. This tower was already 10 years old. They probably expected it to last a little longer. Number 7. Oklahoma. A 3.5-hour drive northwest of Dallas will take you to the little Texas town of Crowell, which is on the Oklahoma border. News gets out quickly in little towns like Crowell. All 800 residents learned of a large cloud of smoke billowing into the sky in late July of 2022. The town was right beneath a lightning storm. We all know that the tallest items in the area are usually struck by lightning. Thus, no one was startled when a turbine was struck by the storm as it passed over a wind farm. The entire town was abuzz about what transpired next. The entire turbine caught fire as a result of the lightning strikes hitting the gearbox. The rotors continued to spin while the flames grew. The residents were limited to observing the turbine's gradual disintegration. Moments afterward, the Crowell Volunteer Fire Department arrived, but the fire was too strong to put out. The chief of fires declared that his crew would be losing the war. 800 gallons of oil were present in both the 1030 ground-level transformer and the gearbox. That's why the smoke appeared thick and black. The fire department wasn't equipped to handle something like that. All they could do was wait and prevent the fire from spreading. Thankfully, the flames only impacted one turbine across the entire 31,000-acre renewable energy complex. Number 6. UK coast. Situated in the Irish Sea, Ormond Wind Farm occupies an area of 3.4 square miles. About 6 miles off the coast of the United Kingdom, construction started in 2010. After 2 years, the renovation was completed, and the wind farm started up again in 2012. Everything ran smoothly for over 10 years. Then in 2021, they experienced a minor mishap. Vattenfall, a Swedish energy firm, arrived on October 23, 2021, to conduct some studies. It looks like one of the blades snapped on the boat and toppled over into the water. It only took a few seconds for the entire thing to sink. Individuals in Barrow, a port town in Cumbria County, started discovering parts of the turbine washed up on the seashore. The turbine fell when one of the lifting gears broke, according to Crane Hub. Number 5. The USA. Some people find it pleasing to look at rolling green hills covered in wind turbines. Some find them to be ugly. But whoever you are, no one wants to see one burn. A local saw a blazing turbine in the distance while out on a stroll in the country. They captured the devastation caused by the fire even though they were not present when it caught fire. The most common cause of wind turbine fires is lightning strikes. However, since no storm clouds were seen, it is more likely that an electrical problem or operator error caused this turbine to catch fire. According to Fire Trace International, a company specializing in fire suppression systems, turbines risk catching fire toward the end of their lifespan. The old electrical components and wiring can easily malfunction. The location also plays a factor. The turbines in warmer and drier climates deteriorate quickly. Today, The average turbine fire can cost between $7 and $8 million in total losses. Number 4. Italy. Campania, with a population of 5.8 million, is the third most populous region in Italy. It's among the Italian peninsula's most industrialized areas. Wind energy is therefore in rather high demand. On February 7, 2017, when they noticed a wind turbine spinning uncontrollably, Italian vehicles jammed on the brakes. That day, the wind seemed to be blowing too quickly for this turbine to keep up with. Nobody was prepared to drive beneath it. These drivers all had the same thought. It will blow up as soon as I drive over that object. They were correct. Look at how fast the blades fly in 3 directions. Thankfully, they didn't hit anything important. Faster wind speed is generally associated with higher energy efficiency, and this is somewhat correct. The rated speed is that point. It prevents wind turbines from blowing too quickly during hurricanes, tornadoes, and windstorms. In order to avoid damage, the turbine automatically cuts off whenever the wind pushes it past its maximum power. It appears that either the rated speed of this turbine was not set, or it broke down. Number 3. USA, Texas. There may be more wind turbines than people in Hermile, Texas. That's because Scurry County in northeastern Texas receives sustainable energy from the Piron wind farm. In order to make room for new ones, old turbines must be removed. Demolition crews used controlled explosions to bring down 21 windmills in late August of 2021. This is how one of them appeared. It takes more than just setting off explosives and pushing a button to bring down a turbine. The demo team had to consider the 345-foot tower in addition to wind speed. It could fall in the wrong way with just one incorrect calculation. In the course of 48 hours, all 21 towers fell. We presume they were transported to a recycling facility located in Texas. Number 2. The USA. A little town called Luling, Texas, is located 1 hour northeast of San Antonio. In Luling, at the junction of US-90 and US-183, is a segment of the Union Pacific Railroad. When the trains need to pass, the locals are accustomed to stopping traffic. A truck driver failed to receive the message. A semi-truck with a wind turbine blade inside attempted a dangerous right turn in late August of 2021. The truck driver swears he was 2/3 of the way over the tracks before the signal arms came down. We'll let you be the judge.
Oh my God. 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 Oh shit. Oh my God.
Our cameraman couldn't believe what he was seeing. The truck was just about to make it before the train obliterated the turbine. When the signal arm falls over the truck bed, it is visible. With nowhere to back up, the driver chose to accelerate. Several of the train's employees reportedly needed minor injuries addressed. Witnesses said a steady stream of trucks had already carried several turbine blades across the tracks. This last driver was either incredibly unlucky or extremely dangerous. With nowhere to back up, the motorist chose to accelerate. Several of the train's employees reportedly needed minor injuries addressed. Several turbine blades had already been moved across the rails by a steady stream of vehicles, according to witnesses. This last driver was either incredibly unlucky or extremely dangerous and impatient. Number 1. India. India is currently the world's most populous nation. As a result, as the population increased, so did the demand for energy. India pledged to take the lead globally in the sustainable energy sector. Right now, they generate the fourth most wind energy globally, after China, Germany, and the United States. However, you become more vulnerable to accidents the more turbines you install. Ask those people who reside near a sizable wind farm. They saw one of the blades blow off a nearby turbine on March 3, 2015. After that, everything collapsed. The entire system is kept balanced by the turbine blades. When one breaks off, the entire system becomes unbalanced. The remaining blades impose tremendous pressure on the system as they continue to spin. Eventually, the frame gets weaker and falls apart like a bunch of sticks. Fortunately, a single damaged turbine doesn't bring the whole thing down.